Marvel way. This is a Spider-Way, No Way Home, Blink-182 scenario. Is that they come back together, the three of them. They go on tour with Alkaline Trio. They play all the songs together that they love. They throw in like a Mark takes a break. They do a boxcar racer thing. By the way, we've all already came like during this show. Yeah. Every nerdy like pop punker fan has wet the bed by now.
Nobody's saving it till they get home.
No, you can't. Anyway, do you guys remember watching Spider-Man: No Way Home? But I told you guys, I smiled that entire movie. Was smiled, but still cried. But still cried. Smiled the entire movie for No Way Home. Just an idiot. Just grinning like an idiot in the theater.
It's such a good movie.
It's so good. That's how I feel like that concert would be, though. I would just be so... What's happening? Anyway. Good stuff. Man, well, I think that's it for
that's it for the show.
That was it. So
it's the sports program on TSPN with Derek, Zach, and Sean, who's been here the whole time. Head over to timespentpoorly.com and give the show a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and help move this show into more people's suggested lists. This show is also streamed live on many platforms, including YouTube, Twitch, and Periscope. Follow and subscribe so you don't miss out on an opportunity to chat in and give the guys a piece of your mind during the broadcast. Want to support the show? Great! Go to patreon.com/timespentpoorly to see how you can do that. And now it's my pleasure to bring you the hosts of the sports program on TSPN, Derek, Zach, and Sean.
Yo, what's up?
Wiki, what up?
We did it.
We played the whole intro.
Yeah. I liked it. It gave me time to get everything open that I didn't have.
That's what I was doing. Come on.
Open beforehand.
There's a method to the madness. Come on now.
I had to send a text message. Had to.
I mean, by the way, as far as things go, I've learned now that 1 minute intro is you can do so much. Actually,
I done.
Actually, get so much accomplished.
Yeah.
I actually ate a burrito in that time. So.
Man, 1 minute's a long time.
Anyway, it is a long time.
Been a longer time is since we last saw each other 1 week ago, while we were still, still 1 week younger, and the Mariners had not won one game in their 2 out of 3, best of 2 of 3 with.
Yeah, that's a way to start it off. One more and it's over. I know. I knew the pitching would be there for them. I think a lot of people did, but the fact that they also put up 4 runs so fast, I didn't know the bats were going to be there. The real question moving forward is, will the bats consistently be there? Because if they are going to go on a run.
If they are,
yeah.
If they played like they did yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
That's a World Series team.
So is this the wild card type
Yes.
thing? Okay, that's what.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're only best
They
of
call it
threes.
something different though, don't they?
If they can stay consistent like they would,
wild card.
that is a World Series team.
It's just offense, yeah. Because I think their defense and pitching is just there already. It's kind of made for this.
Man, Cal Raleigh, who I never would have called would be like the stud.
No,
he hit the big walk off even to get into the playoffs, right? Right. And then to come out swinging already. Also, man,
it's all about timing, right? Going into the playoffs hot is really all that matters. I saw, for my team, they only led the division for 8 days, right? It was the last week of the season we were in first, and no other part were we in first. The Mets were, but it's all about how are you when you're going into the playoffs, right? So it's exciting.
I have expectations set for myself, though. So for our listeners and for you, my friends, I'll let you know that I have a bar, and the bar is not high. they've already exceeded my expectations. So if they crash and burn from here on out, I will be sad, but I will still be so glad they even got into the playoffs. Honestly, stoked.
I thought the Blue Jays were a dark horse to go on a run. So if they get past the Blue Jays, that's such a win for them. Such a big year.
Yeah. And man, and it would just be man, let's just go. Let's keep going. Baseball. Hey, we're playing Mariner baseball in October, friends.
Yeah, I guess we shouldn't even say when's the last time you could say that. We know we've discussed it in length.
Yeah.
Did not have to know. I was in high school.
We did a bit about it.
Yeah.
I was in junior high.
It's fun. I also have expectations. Maybe this is a segue, perhaps. I also have expectations that I've set now for the remainder of the NFL season. And Zach, of course, I want you to take this over. This has been running so well, this show has. But I want to tell you guys, I'm ready for Kenny Pickett to play. I will let everyone know that I did go get him in free agency with our league. I currently have him starting. I don't know if I can do it. I have till tomorrow, at least at 9:00, to decide.
Jesse Knight, welcome to the show. First comment of the day. I've been wondering when he would arrive. I figured it would be when he well established himself as the top dog in fantasy or in Pickems. I do believe Justin just tied him because he took the Colts on Thursday. And we will get to the Steelers, by the way. I want to talk in length about your team, Derek.
If you took the Colts, I don't know.
But here's what I want to say real quick, because the real segue was talking about how long that minute was. And if you think a minute's a long time, then that Colts-Denver game
was an eternity.
It was brutal.
You turned it off, right?
I turned it off. I did end up still being awake at the end, so I did check it on my phone a couple of times after I turned it off. But
I watched the whole thing.
I went and tried to watch the highlights, and I thought they needed to make highlights of the highlights because there was not a ton.
I thought they needed to contact Marvel Studios and maybe have some CGI'd highlights. There was nothing actually to watch in the game. Although they're
brutal, though, do you guys think?
Why was it? Denver? Well, Denver's just a poorly coached team, and Russell Wilson's playing like dog shit. I don't know if there's a miscommunication between him and Russell and the coach aren't on the same page, or Russell's not executing. The play calling in important situations seems bad. I think the Colts, what's wrong with the Colts is more obvious, though. Their offensive line is really bad. Yeah. It almost seems like Matt Ryan went from the Atlanta Falcons of last season to the Atlanta Falcons of this season. The reason the team was bad last year is because they needed a mobile quarterback. I'm talking about Atlanta. They needed someone who could kind of ad-lib some extra time in the pocket. And so people thought if Matt Ryan went to a team where he's better protected, he would look much better. The problem is that the Colts offensive line this year isn't playing like the Colts offensive line of last year. They're playing like the Atlanta offensive line of last year. So it's almost like he got dropped into the same or a worse situation. I would even say worse because now they're all banged up, right? Like
when you go on vacation and it was rainy back home, and then you go on your vacation and it rains while you're there, and you're like, oh man, I brought the weather with me.
Yeah. He brought the bad tackle play with him.
Keen Ian with him to Indianapolis.
You got to credit Denver's defense in every game though, because every game has looked like a snooze fest because they've kind of shut out the other team. And maybe that could be said for both teams, but it seemed like one team, the Colts, were limited on points because of good defensive play, where the other team, Denver, was limited on points because their offense just doesn't have anything figured out. And the problem with Denver is I don't see it getting better. But when it was 6-6, I actually said at my house, I go, this is going to be like a 12-9 game. I don't know who's going to win it, but this is a 12-9 game. And I wish one team would have gotten in the end zone. I don't know about you guys, but it would have made it a lot more watchable if a team just scores damn touchdowns.
I've been waiting to say it this way, but this game was every single score in this game was a field goal.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about. The highlight reel I looked up. So
Yeah.
I was like, they didn't get in the end zone.
No, it was so bad. And like they both had chances. The Denver ones are real bad to watch though, because it seemed like every time they were there, they had better options. It was a rough game. Do we want, and I don't think we need to stick on it too long, but
no.
I do think we should, while we're talking about games that have already happened, at least touch on last week. I think we all did pretty good on the pick'em. I think me and Derek actually did exactly identical. I'm
still climbing out of it.
Yeah. So I don't want to dwell too much on where we were wrong. There's normally like a list that we could go down on where we were wrong.
If this was golf, I did better on the back nine of my pick'em.
So I was the opposite. I started hot and I did not finish well. So I would say the three games that maybe we could say caught us all off guard. One was the Jets beating the Steelers, so we should talk about that because, like you said, all in on Pickett, and I know all three of his incompletions. He had 3 incompletions. They were all picks.
Yep.
But at least he's trying to make stuff happen. And that's your cue.
Seeing a guy.
Here's a guy.
Here's a guy. I was thinking about this literally just this entire week. Mitch is a lot like Eli Manning. He was not exciting. He's a game manager. He's not risky. And Ben was a guy who threw interceptions.
Yep.
Yeah.
Picks. Brett Favre threw picks. All those famous guys have thrown picks. They take risks. It's more exciting. I would rather watch Kenny go out there and throw a couple picks, but like he also ran into. He got a huge first down, on his feet. I don't know. At this point, it's garbage time stats. I think it's going to be fun to watch him. I think like everyone's expectations is like if he doesn't have a good first year, it's his first year, so he can kind of go out and work. He has a ton of receivers. He has such a good receiving core.
Yeah, and I really like that he's using Pickens more than Pickens immediately doubled in targets as soon as he came in the game.
Pickens and Muth and immediately got more catches.
Fry Muth.
Yeah, and I think Johnson will continue to be there. I'll tell you who's been a disappointment for me. Goddamn Claypool in the slot. I thought it was going to be in line for a huge year, and the guy just can't get involved. I thought it was Trubisky. And by the end of that game, I kind of lost hope for him. But it doesn't matter because I think the offense, even Najee looked better when Pickett came in the game.
You guys saw the stuff from this week. Tomlin talking about the spark. He wants me to ignite the spark. I think it's already there. You could already see it in the second half of the Jets game. That ended up being a pretty good game. I mean, Wilson looked good too. It's the goddamn Jets. It's the Jets.
That's the thing, though. The Jets don't look too bad.
Kenny should have gotten the start going into that game so he could have the whole one. That would have been a great game to start him off on, too.
Who did the Jets beat? They beat the Steelers and who else? They have 2 wins. Who was the other? Was it Baltimore that they pulled a win out? Flacco had like a crazy game. I don't remember who it was, but
I can't remember who they beat. Oh, they beat the Browns. You should remember.
The Browns. Yeah. They came back.
It did.
Joe Flacco.
God, Joe Flacco. Good for you, Joe.
But not only this is like our one chance to get a toot our horns on a week because we're all coming off pretty decent ones. We did like our Stone Cold locks of the week last week. I think we all got them right. Which is funny because we were all kind of teetering on taking the Steelers and none of us did.
I think my pick, I was like Stone Cold on Buffalo, but that almost did not work out.
Either way, you got it.
Yeah, but it was scary.
I had the Chargers, and there was like a brief minute in the second half where I'm like, they might blow this game. But they did what they don't normally do, and they took care of a lead on the road and got it done. The other thing is I was talking about Zach Wilson in fantasy last week, and I told people to pick him up. I said he will turn the ball over, it will be ugly at times, but he is going to do similar to what Pickett does, and that's take risks, go downfield.
It's fun to watch.
Rolled off a 20-plus fantasy point game. I rode with him in a league last week, and I was happy about getting that one right as well. I don't really have anyone like that for this week. I was trying to think if I could go back-to-back weeks on like flyer QBs to take, but I don't have any this week. But no, last week was good, so I wanted to just circle back to it. Did either of you guys, Sean, you're a Niners fan, so did you take the Niners?
Absolutely.
And I'm assuming me and Derek both took the Rams. I know Jesse Knight took the Niners.
I understand why you would maybe take the Rams, but you got to think about the
Shanahan just has his numbers.
Yeah. Except for in the playoffs, apparently.
Well, my logic was fine. I knew Jesse was going to take the Niners, so it's like, do you choose to ride with the tie, or do you try to pass him? And
that's what's so difficult about.
I took the risk. If you're the Rams, though, are you like? When do you get concerned by the fact that Stafford has more interceptions than touchdowns? Like, I don't know.
Is it because of his little? Is his arm still bothering him? He didn't have a surgery, right?
He did, but I don't know if it's watching a lot of the games this year. I've just wondered if he's had anybody else other than Cooper Kupp to get the ball to.
Not really.
If I were them, I would like be doing whatever it takes to get Odell Beckham back on that team.
Yeah.
Because Allen Robinson has not been the second option, in my opinion.
Which is it bums me out, man. I love Allen Robinson.
Yeah, me too. I think he's always slept on. I think he always over delivers from what people's expectations are, and this year is the exact opposite. Once you're in LA, there's no more people like underplaying your talent. You know, like people are going to have very high expectations. So.
With that being said, though, now that the Niners performed this way, what do you think? Do you think
the expectations for them changed back to what they were a couple weeks ago, where it's like
they're back.
Niners are going to win the division and like dark horse to win the Super Bowl?
Well, the Niners do have both their wins are division games too, which is good.
The biggest thing is, how do you feel seeing it? How did you feel seeing it with Jimmy G getting that win?
I love it, dude.
People with Jimmy G all year, man. It's just going to be, I love him, I hate him, I love him, I hate him. We know what he is. We know what his ceiling is, and then they go, maybe he's better.
Yeah, maybe.
People are going to flip-flop on him all year, me included, because I love the guy. But then as soon as he has a bad game, I go, well, we know Jimmy.
Yeah, we
know Jimmy.
After next week, I'll be like, we know Jimmy. We knew this was coming. Or he has a great game, and I say, he's the guy who can take him all the way.
To the promised land, baby.
Yeah, so I'm just as guilty of that. But I think like that entire division with the Rams now 2-2, Niners now 2-2, Seahawks now 2-2. Yeah. Seahawks now 2-2, Cardinals 2-2. Okay.
The Niners though, both their wins are division, so that's good.
Yes,
right?
so that's huge.
That's
That's huge. Otherwise, though, I think if you're any other team, it's like forget about what's happened so far, right? Like.
Yeah.
Now it's no longer a 17-game season. It's a 13-game season. That's just how you got to look at it for everybody else. So we should get into this week, though. I kind of want to do the same format. Was there any, actually, before I get into this, you guys might know better than I will. Is there any storylines in football we're forgetting this week? Any off-the-field dirt gossip other than like Tom Brady getting divorced?
Well,
Tom Brady getting divorced, is that official then? Poor guy.
Well,
to be so good looking and rich.
Well, is he good looking though?
I mean, he's in the he's gonna be good looking. He's got the rich part still.
Yeah, he's got the rich. I think
if you are Sean, you got to realize if you are rich, the scale changes. Yeah. So, like a poor 6 is a rich man's 10.
Do you know how big 7 rings on 2 hands makes your dick look?
Yeah. So I was also gonna say, did
you just put him on his dick?
Yes. Also, if you're a millionaire, yes, your dick does grow like 2 inches in everyone's eyes. So you're a poor man's 6, but you're a rich man's 10. Like.
That's it.
I'd say Brady's a poor man's 7 even. So
I won't, dude. I don't know because I don't think Kevin Bacon's that attractive.
Well, no one else thinks he looks like Kevin Bacon.
Bullshit! I showed you the proof.
That's one photo. He's also looking very skinny this year. I don't know what his diet is, but
his diet is divorce.
Full-faced, not scrawny-faced. Tom Brady looks nothing like Kevin Bacon. Nothing like him.
When did I send that?
I don't have a story, but I might have a thing that you might enjoy.
Yeah.
What can we pick the worst 3-1, like the worst team with the best record and the best team with the worst record?
Yeah, let's do that. That's how I'd like to spend this time. I thought about some ways to kill some time going into this, either like Draymond Green knocking a dude out in practice, or but you know what? Let's skip that because from what I hear, it happens all the time. So
this is your game too. I'm just throwing your game out there.
Yeah, I want to do this. I like that more. Best 3-1 team, or do you want to start with do you want to start with the worst 3-1 team?
I want to start. Well, I brought it up because of the worst 3-1 team. I'm curious to see what yours is. I've already locked mine though for worst 3-1 team. So, do you want to start with that, or
yes? Sure. Let's start with that. Let's start with that,
and then lift up a team. I'm okay with that. A little positivity.
I had to make sure before I picked. I had to make sure the Bears were not 3-1 because for a second I thought they were, and I was like, just going to cling to that so hard.
Well, the Dallas Cowboys 100%. I do not believe in them. I do not believe in the Dallas Cowboys that they are a 3-1 team.
That's yours?
That is 100% mine. I do not believe it.
So, man, I think they have so much talent. That's what's crazy. I think they have so much talent. If you made that argument from the fact that Dak's going to be back in the next couple weeks, and Dak might be overrated, and then also just who their head coach is.
Okay, going on coaches, actually. Coaches and offensive coordinator and Jerry Jones and just Dallas.
I just think the talent on that defense, coached by Dan Quinn, his ability to Dan Quinn.
I think defense. Oh, you cut out, Zach.
Oh, we lost you, Zach.
Your mic stopped.
No.
He was on a runner too.
He silently. It was a good one.
So on the Cowboy thing, before he gets back, I do think defensively they're better than offense.
Okay.
Because of Dan Quinn. But then I think with Dak, I like them less. I like them more with Cooper Rush.
Okay. And I don't even know what Dak's injury is.
Thumb?
Okay.
I think.
He hit that dude.
We can hear you. You're very echoey, but we can hear you.
You can hear me, but I'm echoey? I don't know how to fix that.
Like perhaps it is the and it's not echoey. I just mean it's like it's like the microphone on your laptop or something.
Yeah. I was using the microphone on my laptop.
There you go.
No, you sound great.
Yeah, I accidentally, when I was going on that tangent, I think I just literally knocked a cord loose.
You were hot. You were hot on. He's heating up. That's what I was thinking in my head. He's heating up.
It's because I always kind of grew up a Dallas hater, and now I actually think they're a pretty good team.
I love the energy in that. I still dislike them, but I also sometimes find a soft spot in my heart because I do start to feel bad for fans of franchises that, I get on bad times. I do feel bad. I have a couple kids in classes that are Cowboys fans, and I'm always like, oh, you poor guys.
Well, I don't feel bad for that because I think they've been a top 5 NFC team for the last 10 years. They just can't do jack shit in the playoffs, and that's actually more funny than bad. Like, as an outside, I find that more hilarious when teams cannot break a trend.
Like the Bills right now in playoff time.
In big games, period, man. They just haven't gotten it done yet. But they did just beat the Ravens, so maybe that was the changing of the guard there a little bit.
I can't wait to talk about this.
My 3-1 team, though, is I was actually the reason I was stalling is because I was kind of torn between the Giants and the Vikings. But to me, it's obviously the Giants. They've stumbled into 3-1.
Yeah.
more than any other team ever, maybe. They've played against some just real other bad teams. And what's awesome for them is they have more to look forward to. They have a really tough game this week against the Packers, but then they get to go back to playing teams like the Washington Commanders. And
I believe I saw online, though, that the Philadelphia Eagles have the easiest schedule remaining, though. And they're 4-0.
Yeah. Unless you're like me and just really believe that Dallas has a team, they're in the easiest division in football. Yeah. And even with Dallas being good, they're in the easiest division in football. Mm-hmm. Maybe. Yeah. There is the whole Jaguars, Colts, Texans, Titans division. But
yeah, I was gonna. So I didn't notice that the Vikings were 3-1 when I was going through, but I don't think you can say the Vikings just because I think their receivers are just so hot. They're just so hot.
And we have to find out more about the teams they have beaten. Like, the Saints might prove to be an actually pretty decent team. I still really don't know.
Mm-hmm. And I watched that game, and it was a good game.
But the Giants beat Tennessee by 1. They beat the Panthers by 3. And they beat the Bears 20-12 in what was the most boring game of the season until the Colts played the Broncos. So... It's really hard to give the Giants too much credit. I want to. I love Saquon. I like a few people on the defense, but I don't know. And I actually don't think Daniel Jones is. If he didn't have to scramble for his life every play, we might actually get to find out if he is a good quarterback or even a serviceable quarterback.
Yeah.
How can we know with the fact that he has to drop back and a second later run?
Mm-hmm.
That said, he's pretty good at doing that.
It won him the game last week, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I'll go with the Giants, though. Same with you, man. I mean, Giants and Cowboys. I think they're both who knows.
Yeah. I think more to be told on the. I'm not even going to judge the Cowboys until Dak is back.
Yeah.
Because I'm still teetering on Dak. That's kind of how I feel about him. Okay. I'm not saying he's bad. I just want to know if he's worth the money. I'm starting to wonder if anyone's worth the money. The way the league's been going.
I don't think quarterbacks are ever worth the money. That
I'll tell you what, Russell Wilson's not.
No, the kicker and the punters are that team right now.
Yeah,
and the defense.
Okay. When we do, there's no winless teams, is there? Oh wait, there is a Texans. So let's do 1-3 teams though. Let's do the best 1-3 team in you guys' opinion.
Do you want me to start?
Yeah.
I feel like the Raiders should be better. And maybe I don't know. I would maybe say New England as well, but they're having quarterback, woes. So
yeah, it's Zappy season now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Who I'm pretty sure is just Mac Jones.
Yeah.
It's just a rebrand.
Didn't you say you've never seen him on the field at the same time?
Never seen him on the field at the same time. I've never seen them both under center at the same time. Yep. I think it's just a quick rebrand. No, he kind of looks like the Kmart version of him.
So you guys are going with Oakland?
Well, he went with Vegas.
I think Oakland. I feel like Oakland definitely should
be. I'm in Vegas. Sorry, Jesus, I'm still stuck in that.
I think the Raiders.
Everyone is.
I think Raiders should be better than they are right now.
Yes, but we're looking for best, and I could see how they could be. Do you have one, Derek?
Yeah, hard disagree. I'm going Pittsburgh 100%. I actually am so fucking optimistic, you guys. You have no idea.
I want you to be that way, but Mitch Trubisky is garbage, and it
doesn't matter to Eddie Pickett.
Well, but if it was still Trubisky, would you make the same call?
No. Well, I mean, okay, so maybe, but here's the thing: if TJ was in,
that's what's also.
Everything changed without TJ being in. The defense can get it back. They've been this team for the last 10 years. This is the same team. This happens to have a quarterback who can run a little faster. This is still Ben was I've said it on this show. He was a get-it-done quarterback. I still think Mitchell Trubisky could be a get-it-done quarterback. Like, it's not flashy. It just gets it done. But you got to have the defense. You got to have Mitch. He plays so conservative. He won't take risks. And man, that's the thing about Ben is he had so many. Ben had a ton of interceptions. He would push it, and I think that's what you got to have in the end. You got to have somebody who's willing to take a little more risk. So I'm optimistic. If it was Mitch, I wouldn't be as optimistic. I'm still saying they're the best 1-3 team.
So if the game was pick a team that has the best chance to turn it around, as in not be below 500 in the next like 5 weeks, I think you're on the right track. I think the Raiders are very talented, but I do think they dug a hole. So like they were probably going to be my pick, but just for the sake of argument, I believe that the Detroit Lions, without going into last week's game against the Seahawks completely battered offensively, missing both their two best receivers, missing their running back, I think they obviously win that game. But that was just a shootout, and I think they would have had enough offense to get it done. And they almost had enough offense to get it done anyways. But in my opinion, without last week without the injuries last week, they're not even a 1-3 team. So that's why I would take them.
I'm actually curious on your opinion on this. Before we do any of the actual Pickems, do you have any of them that do you think have met your expectations or for bad or good? Like for me, like the Cardinals are as bad as I thought they would be. They're about mid. They're 2-2. It feels about right. Like,
yeah, they're a team that's going to probably beat some good teams and lose to some bad teams. So yeah, they're a team that's going to teeter on average all year. The team that's lived up to my expectations because I picked them in our preseason Super Bowl picks is the Chiefs. I think everyone's going to sleep on them because teams like the Bills become sexy, right? Like there's always got to be the next step. But we're forgetting that just a couple of years ago when they won the Super Bowl, we were talking dynasty, right? Like they're going to be in this every year. And they are in it every year. So, I mean, that's...
Yeah, okay, fair.
Yeah, they have lived up to my preseason expectation of being good. And I don't really have a team that I thought was going to nosedive, right? Like I didn't pick I think I picked for first to worst. I picked the Bengals, and they're right at 500, so we got to wait and see. Still,
I picked the Jags, and I think the Jags are doing all right.
Yeah, and they have the Texans this week, so they have a chance to break 500, which means it's time to get into that.
Let's get into that.
It's time to get into it. Similar to last week.
Okay.
I want everyone to say, and I think there's a ton of hard ones this week, by the way. So I think this segment of the show is easy. Derek, we should start with you and just go, what was the hardest game for you to pick, if you have it queued up already?
I do have it queued up. The hardest game for me to pick was actually so my heart is still so torn on
I know where you're going.
The Steelers over the Bills.
Yeah, I knew where you're going.
I knew it.
Because they beat them last year.
They did beat them last year, and I don't go against my team. I say it every week, but I'm not that far behind on the pick'em. I do want to win. I want the belt.
Yeah.
I do want the belt.
I want the belt. I want the belt to. I don't want to be in the same person's hands every year. I think Dave's won 2 years in a row, so I would like to see the belt in Idaho.
How far back is he?
It's also good to get this out of the way now. That way the Steelers talk will be behind us and we can move on with our lives. You guys can...
But you also legitimately, regardless of them being your team, their defense stifled the Bills last year. They actually might have a little more offense this year, at least as far as like trying to make plays.
I also do think there could be a spark ignited there. I'll show you what I did go with here. I did take the Steelers. I will take the Steelers at least until 9 a.m. I'm double gambling with this, you guys, because I am 100% until 9 a.m. tomorrow. I am 100% starting Kenny Pickett in our league.
So no problems with that, except for you do have Brady on your bench, right?
I do. I do.
Whatever, but
I have Cousins on my bench right now. Still,
Sean, you got input
on his choice?
The game or fantasy, whatever. Do you have an input?
I think Tom Brady is going to throw some touchies, some tutties.
Oh, there's going to be tutties.
I think Tom Brady's going to throw some tutties in against the Falcons. But
he's got the whole. We can get to that game, but he's got the whole slate of boys. Julio's back. He's got Godwin. He's got TD, Mike Evans.
I love that you want to play Pickett, but I don't think against the Bills. The matchup just isn't there when you have.
So bad.
You got to play matchups with Kenny. So here's this actually feeds into why I took the Bills. So let's go with this real quick because I think it does transition really nicely from fantasy back to the game. What you want in a defensive game, like the game they played last year against them, is a quarterback who's not going to lose you the game, right? Like we've seen plenty of, even though everyone talks about it being an offensive league, this year, we just saw it on Thursday. Like we see, like sometimes you see a quarterback that's just not going to lose the game for you.
Yeah.
And the same thing that could win the game for them, right? Which is just Kenny Pickett making just a few big plays downfield, right? A couple deep shots, maybe to Deontay or Pickens. Those could win them the game if he doesn't throw 3 picks, right? Because if he throws 3 picks, but then also throws like 2 amazing deep balls, they still probably lose that game. If he keeps it down to like 1 interception and just makes 1 or 2 plays with his arms or his legs, they can win this game. And I'm worried that he's going to take just 1 too many risks in this game. I think it'll be close, but I think the same reason you're excited is what could cost him this game.
Downside.
But I think maybe it's important, right? Because that's like a learning experience. And then past this week, he goes, okay, just dial it back a little bit. So, that's where I'm at. But I like it. I'll be rooting for you guys in the game.
I think he's going to go. My heart right now says he's going to go Savannah Bananas in that fucking game tomorrow. And he's going to go nuts and just run. He's going to. I mean, he does the fake slide. They haven't banned it yet.
Yeah, he's going to turn that field into a real F shack.
I
don't know. I'm making the final decision at 9 a.m. tomorrow. I have an alarm set for it. I'm letting you know right now. I already have an alarm set for this one.
Sean, who'd you take?
I think Cousins is going to tear the Bears up too, man. I like it. I like you. Who did I take for?
I think he's going to gut the Bears.
Just a lock-in win.
They're 2 really good quarterbacks, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's going to gut the Bears.
He's gonna gut him, dude.
Like a sea bass.
A lock-in win, huh? I think the Niners are just gonna destroy the Panthers.
I like that pick. That is not a pick I saw.
And I think just because I think that defense is gonna make Baker's day just hard.
Right, I've said it on the show already. I love the Panthers defense. They play fast.
Yeah.
And I know that Baker's done a couple of things to keep them in games or even one to win a game. It's like he has that one big play every game.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think you guys go on the road and just do whatever you want. The only thing is we could be sitting here next week saying, God damn it. God damn it, Garoppolo or whatever.
I think PG is going to walk into North Carolina or South Carolina or wherever the hell that team exists, and then he is going to do whatever he wants in that city, on that field, and then in the evening when he's just hanging around, I think he's going to do whatever he wants in that city because he is Jimmy G.
You can do whatever you want.
I think he's gonna he's gonna sling some of that Italian cream all over the Carolinas.
Now that said, can someone timestamp this exact spot next week when I talk about how much of a bum he is?
Yeah.
This game, but I am taking the 49ers.
Yeah, Ward, can you crop that?
Yeah.
Ward, can you crop it? We should just keep acting like he's a producer who's constantly in the background.
I need to put a skeleton in a chair and then put it in the corner with cobwebs on it and be like, that's been him. There's just a skeleton.
So I actually legitimately picked 3 games before this on I'm with you guys on that one. I legit picked 3 teams before this, but I want to start with the Kansas City Chiefs beating the Las Vegas Raiders on Monday night.
I almost picked that one.
So
100% I picked the Chiefs on this.
yeah. And I think it's not because the Raiders are a bad team. I just think that when you're doing your pick'em, this is one where you, without hesitation, pick a team. Like, there's nothing in your gut that says, well, maybe, well, you just don't. You go, I think the Raiders are better than 1-3, but they are not on this level. We thought their division was going to be super competitive, and we just haven't seen it yet, other than that was a pretty good Chiefs-Chargers game earlier in the season.
Yeah. Yeah, the Chargers have been a little disappointing. The Broncos, I didn't think were going to win the division, but still I thought better with Russell. So I don't know. Just so far not it.
Yeah. Russ has been disappointing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I say we do this snake style because I got 2 queued up already. I got Baltimore beating the Bengals on Sunday night. I covered both the primetime games. I think we didn't do a segment on this, but I think if we had to pick the best 2-2 team, Baltimore is it.
Yeah.
That Dolphins game, slobber knocker. That Bills game, slobber knocker. They lost 2 close games by the smallest of margins, and in both, I thought while watching the games they would win them. So I picked this one with confidence, and looking at that, I think other people did too.
I'm picking the Bengals because I want to get the edge. I want to get because I think most people obviously pick the Ravens, so I'm trying to
sneak one on people.
Pick on this. For me, this could be a coin flip between these 2 teams because I still think the Bengals could be it. It's just I don't want them to be because I hate.
You know what? I just realized we're picking close games, and I actually just gave my 2 Stone Cold locks accidentally.
Oh,
that's so funny.
Locks. You have to present that differently now. Okay, no.
Yeah, we were supposed to start with 3 games that we thought were going to be tough, and I actually like every other game besides for my 2 Stone Cold locks I thought were tough. I thought the Seahawks Saints game was super hard after the Seahawks
next one I'm giving you.
Agreed.
Yeah, so we should do that one. Let's talk about that game.
It's literally the next one that I am giving you because I have the Saints picked right now because it's at home. But man, I see a world in which the Seahawks might be, dare I say it, sneaky okay.
Like a world where they think that they fleeced the Broncos on that trade because they got multiple first and second rounders and 3 players, and they were able to offload Russell Wilson and not pay him.
And then Gino has a better stats than Russell as of right now.
And you still, as much as he's like Senator Palpatine, you still got Carroll as your head coach.
Yeah,
who's still a phenomenal head coach.
So I took the I followed the London hangover. I think the Saints with a tough loss in London coming back to the States. I think that Seahawks can steal this one. They're going to ride the momentum of last week against the Lions, but I am torn because I think talent-wise, the Saints are the better team top to bottom. It's another Andy Dalton game. I'm taking the Seahawks. But it's tough. It is. This was probably actually one of the 2 hardest games of the week for me to pick.
I'm letting you know that I chose these all on Sunday and that this was genuinely my second pick for the hardest game to pick this week. I'm letting you know that you have swung me on this game, and I am also going to take the Seahawks on the road. I and you have talked me into this.
Yeah.
Love it. Sean, you said you had the Saints, right?
No, I'm sticking with. I didn't think this was too hard, just because I don't believe in the Saints.
Oh,
but
okay.
I will say that if the Seahawks lose and it looks better than this will be the Seahawks I actually expect.
I mean, maybe Kamara comes back and
expected
helps him get an edge. I don't know. I'm always down on the Saints, though, man. It might be because some of the, I don't know. They're just not for me, man. Saints ain't for me.
Sean, did you have another hard one to pick?
I thought the Dolphins Jets was a hard one to pick.
Okay.
That's my third choice.
Because
that's my third one.
I don't believe in Teddy Bridge. I don't believe in Teddy Bridgewater. And I think the Jets might be sneaky good.
They got a bunch of young dogs on offense. Between Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, Breece Hall, Conklin's like a sneaky good tight end somehow. Like it's been a wild year to have Conklin in fantasy.
Carter's a good running back as well. You
good
got
backup.
2 good running backs.
And then they. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say I would like for Teddy Bridgewater to do good in this game. I am still rooting for him as a player. I like him as a player. Would have taken him in Pittsburgh. Would have.
This is the Niner Bowl, by the way. Former defensive coordinator for the Niners versus former offensive coordinator for the Niners. That being said, I actually took Miami thinking that they're the better coach team. Although I agree with the Jets having a lot of good young talent, I think they really hit like 4 home runs in the first round this year because they had an insane amount of first round picks. Garrett Wilson, home run. Breece Hall starting to come into his own. Johnson from Florida State is getting after it. But then Sauce Gardner is already one of the 5 best corners in the league, I think. And there's a reason they picked him in the top 4. So the Jets nailed it. 2 offensive picks, 2 defensive picks in the first round, all landed. Good for them. That'll be great for them in a year or 2, but this year I'm riding with the Dolphins.
And if Tua was in, I think I'd pick the Dolphins just straight up.
Okay, so I was also going to let you guys know. I was just literally just going to say that. If Tua was in, I would not have hesitated on this game, by the way.
I totally get it. I think it is a hard game to pick. I'm with you on the level of hardness, but I'm going to be the one guy who goes the other way on it and take the Dolphins. But I think it's close. I think he's going to play it safe enough for them to win.
By the way, because the Jets are Randy's team, I do hope I'm wrong on this game and suck it, Randy.
Yeah, 100%.
Yo, 100%.
So I'll hit you guys with. I really have 2 more hard ones, but I'll hit you with 1 more hard one. LA versus Dallas to me is hard because of the ups and downs of LA this year.
Mm-hmm. And
that's a good one.
Dallas's defense.
And because Cooper Rush hasn't lost a game yet, and it's probably the last week of Cooper Rush, and because I think Dallas has the better defense and LA has the better offense, that's why I think this is I shouldn't say LA has the better offense. Total amount of weapons goes to Dallas. Better tight end, better overall receiving core. Even last week with Gallup catching that touchdown, I'm like, wow, they're back to being 3 deep with Noah Brown, CeeDee Lamb, and Gallup. Schultz just needs to show up at tight end, and they are a complete offense. But it's still hard because LA just came off a Super Bowl win. I took Dallas, by the way. Let's just get that out of the way. Sean, you're the other person we don't know yet because I can see LA on.
I picked the Rams.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of am swayed a little bit on your Cowboy talk, but
yeah, I did not take the Rams with confidence on this one. This is one I could very well switch tomorrow or tonight, or
I think this is a hard, could be even harder than the other hardest picks that we said.
It's just interesting because it's a -5.5 LA, which leads me to believe that nobody thinks this is hard to pick. If it's -5.5 LA, it means that they're believed to be the better team. And I think this could be the game where we just all the way realize that the Rams aren't the team from last year.
Well, as you've said on paper, but Cooper Rush ain't never heard of no paper.
Yeah, he ain't never read no books.
Heard of no paper.
I never heard no paper.
Rush balls out in this game. Well, okay, when is what is Dak's injury?
He hurt his thumb.
Yeah, thumb.
Is he back?
He hit it on the back of his own teammate's helmet. No, so Jerry Jones was like over confident about him returning early. Before he said anything, everyone thought it was like a season-ending type of deal, and then we realized it's Jerry Jones was actually probably telling the truth. It's not a season-ending one. It's only going to be several weeks. But as of last week, Dak Prescott can still not hold a football in his throwing hand. So he's gone at least another week if you can't hold a football, maybe 2. But he'll be back.
So if Cooper Rush keeps winning the entire time he's out, they'll put Dak in obviously, but like how long can Dak play not good before the fans start calling for Cooper Rush. By the way, this is like Dallas. This is Dallas MO, by the way. This has happened with every quarterback Dallas has had since.
If you are Dak, I hate to say it, but man, do you like?
Are you worried?
You either hope you're going to come back and just ball out, or you hope that Cooper Rush just lays one egg going into you coming back as the starter. That way it cools off. One of the two needs to happen for Dak Prescott. He either needs to have like a great first game back, or there needs to be like one just absolute turd that Cooper Rush lays down on the field.
Zach, you want to do a fantasy question?
Yeah, we've done a few of these now. Team 4-0, 10-man PPR. Any moves I should make? Lamar, CMC, Lenny, Jamar Chase, CD. Wow, that team's stacked. I love seeing 10-man teams. It's awesome. I'm assuming he probably picked up Corey Davis too, because he was just floating around in leagues because everyone was hot to trot on the two young receivers for the Jets. So I don't know, man. I like that team. I actually didn't pay attention to how Jacoby did once they had to move to their third quarterback last week. So if I'm dropping anyone, it's probably Jacoby. But it's 10-man, so I assume there's at least one like 10+ projected point guy on the waiver. I traded Patterson for Lenny a few weeks ago, then traded London and Jamal Williams a few days ago. Man, I still like Drake London. And I love Njoku. It's crazy his team is that good considering the people he got rid of. It seems like he made awesome trades. I would set it because you have great starters. Like you're just playing around with your backups at this point. It depends who's on the waiver. If you could swap out maybe like Jacoby for a slightly higher upside receiver, that's the only thing. Like you have the type of team you can take risk. So I don't think this person's really asking for us to improve his team. They're more just like showing it off.
Yeah, they're just flashing their huge dick at us.
Just dig her out.
Half PPR flex. Oh.
Robert Woods. I mean, Josh Palmer is a good go because Keenan Allen is out once again.
Right, but eventually he won't be, and then you're going to end up dropping Josh Palmer and trying to get someone like Jacoby Myers back. So,
I don't know, because Jacoby, is he even the top target? Because Algier,
I think he's still the most talented,
and I think he was out last week too. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, that's true. Okay, so I still think he's the top target. I don't get rid of him. That Jamal Williams Olave question, I think, is
that's tough because both those games are going to be.
Half point PPR, I tend to lean towards the running back if I'm flipping a coin. Like if it's standard or half point PPR, I'm assuming if Jamal is your third running back, you're pretty set there. The hard part is that Seattle's defense is, giving up 45 points a game, according to last week. So I don't know. Olave might have a field day.
Feels petty, but
that's super hard. Matchup wise, I like Olave's matchup more. But as a player, I mean, Jamal is the way. But he's in New England too. It's in New England.
Yeah. I'm starting Jamal, but
if that's me, I'm starting Jamal and just kind of like, he's one of those, like, as long as he's the number one running back, it's set it and forget it on the Lions for me.
Yeah.
But Olave has like huge upside there.
Especially in this matchup.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
if that was full PPR, I would say either guy has like potential to go for 30. So pretty good matchups for both. Do either of you guys have one more really tough game? I think I don't think I have another one except for questionable. Chargers don't travel east well. We've already seen it. So like they're going to Cleveland. So
I have the Chargers for the game, but
me too.
I picked the Chargers in full confidence because Justin Herbert is the best quarterback in the NFL.
I think one day he will be, but I think he is still learning how to win games for his team. I think he's the most talented guy. Like, there's been a couple plays this year where I'm like, can anyone else make that throw? Pat Mahomes does that almost every week though as well. So, but I think he's top 2 in talent.
Yeah,
and he's only 24, so it's a matter of time until he's in that discussion. But
I think that's kind of a hard game to pick too, though, because Browns don't look bad either with Jacoby. Like,
yeah, it's a -2 for a reason.
Yeah.
I think
Garrett's back.
What if they just run the ball all over him? Like, even in that loss against the Falcons, Chubb had a great game. Njoku had a great game.
It's a gimme game for sure. I think Cleveland could very well win at home. I mean, it's in Cleveland, and Chargers don't travel east well. I am taking them in this game because I think they're the better team, but I do think, if you wanted to get ahead and pick them and you took the Browns in this game, I would not be surprised.
Did either of you guys struggle with the Patriots-Lions game?
Not. I don't know. I think the way the Lions are putting up points, it's like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, but they're not putting up points against the Patriots. I don't think they're going to put up.
You don't think so?
Not the way it's been. I don't think we're going to see that again.
But not 40-pointer.
The Patriots are good at slowing a game down, too. That's the other thing.
Yeah. Is Mac Jones playing in this game? Does it even matter at that point?
No, it's Zappy.
It is for sure Zappy. I didn't know for sure.
I think Mac Jones is still out.
Oof. I think I'm going to take the. I'll show you live. I'm switching to the Lions.
I almost did that behind the scenes, Derek. I literally have the Patriots picked, and I'm teetering super hard on this one. So I'm glad we brought this game up because if we're flip flopping, it's a hard game to pick.
If Mac Jones was in, I don't think it would be that hard of a.
Not with the Patriots at home. I mean, I would take the Patriots at home with Mac Jones. I mean, I'm just saying, I don't hate. So Goff, how has Goff been on fantasy? You, Zach, you're the one that's been saying to go out and get him. How's he been doing on fantasy?
Great.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's still top 12. But you know what? So is like Geno Smith. Geno Smith's like 12 or 13. So it's like, this year's been weird for that kind of stuff, man. It's been a bizarre year as far as if you just go back and look at last week and look at the passing leaders, it doesn't make any sense.
It's Justin Herbert, number 1, right?
He's the one guy who it makes sense, though, right? Like,
yeah.
I'm just trying to think, like, who's like we should just like look at it right now and see who the actual outside of, and this is outside of fantasy, but I'm just saying.
So Herbert, I guess as of
Matt Ryan in yards, which he has an extra game, so who cares? Like, let's Russell Wilson, which is weird because the rest of his stats are dog shit. Herbert, Josh Allen, Jared Goff, boom, 5. Goff is like Jared Goff is all over the place, but 11 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He's fifth ranked as far as fantasy quarterbacks go.
Well, check the next 5 games, bros, because it's going to be Kenny Pickett in that top 5.
And that sucks because I think I was saying week 2 to go get him. So, and I'm just as guilty. I didn't pick him up either, by the way. I was telling people to go get him, and then I was staying away from him. But
I wanted to, like, I tried to do it too late. Someone else got him. I tried to go with Carson Wentz, and it just shot me in my. I'm going with Geno Smith this week in one of the leagues that I was struggling with.
I'm going with Geno Smith in our league because I still don't have Dak back.
Yeah.
In our league, do you want a quarterback? I have Kirk Cousins. I have Tom Brady.
You cut Trevor Lawrence, and I put in a waiver claim for him, and someone else got him. So I took that as a sign. I dropped Mariota. I had to drop Jameis Winston as soon as I found out he wasn't playing again. I was going to ride with Winston. Full transparency, I was riding into this weekend with Winston. As soon as I found out he was hurt, I'm like, okay.
Who is Hill playing then? Is he starting?
No,
it's Andy Dalton. We know for a fact Taysom Hill is not an NFL quarterback now. No. We already knew it, but it's factual information at this point.
Oh, he is not. He is Pocatello trash, bro.
Through and through.
He is Southern Idaho trash.
Man. F that guy. I don't even know.
Fuck him.
Well, that was good. That was a good time.
We should crank through some of these, in my opinion, obvious games. Vikings over the Bears. Anyone want to rebuttal me there?
Sorry, what was the question?
Vikings over Bears. Anyone not think that's going to be?
I think it's just that's it. That's just what it is.
100% took the Vikings.
Packers over the Giants in London.
I think yeah. Why would we? Unless the Giants are for real, which was one of the things we said earlier, right? So, but I'm going Packers.
It's -8 Packers, man, and I don't know. I keep saying every week AJ Dillon's finally going to go off, and he hasn't, and so I'm going to say it for the 4th week in a row. AJ Dillon's finally going to go off.
Is Aaron Jones been doing okay?
He's been great. He's been great
against him yet.
I have the Packers for this game.
Dobbs is finally back-to-back weeks. Like there was a couple plays, like the touchdown that it didn't get overruled. It was just ended up not being a catch. But that Dobbs drop in the end zone that would have not even sent it to overtime, but would have sealed the deal against the Patriots. I was like, man, this guy is legit. I'm usually not super hot on fantasy receivers, but in a league where I had Garrett Wilson and I thought was the fantasy receiver to have, I'm now rolling with Dobbs. So he's my guy. He's my number 2 flex in any league that I have him, which is like 3. I like the team. Here's another one.
Titans and Commanders. Is there any doubt? I mean, there's some doubt.
I picked Tennessee because I have picked Washington I think twice now, and they've just fucked me. So,
what about Jags over Texans? Is that one we're saying is a gimme? Should be.
I have that as a gimme for the Jags. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's weird because going into the year, I thought that Houston could be sneaky good, and they're just absolutely not those guys. So
you're not that guy.
They're not that guy, pal.
I need to get.
Yeah,
this one. This is a tough one. We haven't talked about this one, Zach.
No, it's not. It's not hard.
Tough based on.
It's not hard.
I did go with the Bucks on this.
I don't think it's hard.
I don't think it's hard. The big thing is yes, the Falcons have been running the ball on everybody, but Patterson is not playing and Pitts is not playing, which means that there's going to be even more of an emphasis for Tampa to go out there and just shut the run down. My boy Algier is in, which, by the way, I think someone earlier said target for fantasy playoffs. Algier, because even after Cordarrelle Patterson comes back, he's still 31 years old. So I have Algier in 4 of my 5 leagues for a reason. So I don't know, man. I think the Falcons are a little more banged up than the Bucks are. I know some people are saying this is a potential steal. It's like a 10-point. The Bucks are, I believe, the biggest favorite of the weekend, by the way. They're a 10-point favorite at home because all their receivers are back. But some people think it's a trap because of what's been going on in Tom Brady's personal life. If anything, he seems like the type of guy who will just go and play out of his mind during a situation like that. So
poor Tom Brady.
Poor Tom Brady. I did not bat an eye when it came to picking this game, even as a Falcons fan. Which, by the way, I took the Falcons the last 2 weeks, and they won both games. So it's not like
curse is
not taking my team.
Though.
Huh?
That curse is over, though. You can choose your team, and they'll win a game.
Yes, I can actually pick them realistically. But I also am being realistic with this and saying, like, okay, I got a couple wins out of them.
That's what we're rooting for the Falcons in this game.
Yeah, I mean, if we end up winning it, let's go. But
and I also might be starting Tom Brady.
The only game we have not discussed at all is the Eagles at the Cardinals game.
I've kept glancing at it, and I was just like,
I kept thinking somebody will bring it up. I didn't want to just stroke it on the Eagles again, but I'm still high on this team, man. I think they win, and I didn't have an issue choosing.
The reason I did not bring it up is because to me, it actually teeters the lines of not being super hard to pick because I think by default you'll take the Eagles, but it's also not a layup for them either. So I wouldn't throw it into the let's breeze past it, and I wouldn't throw it into the tough games to pick. It's somewhere in the middle. Cardinals are at home; they can win the game.
Yep.
And if I don't know, Eagles would be 5-0 though. None of us are going to be surprised.
I picked the Eagles.
If the Eagles lose this game, this means the Cardinals aren't as bad as I think they might be. Also, maybe it would make me more realistic on the Eagles, but I still think this is a fantastic team. I think this is a Super Bowl quality team.
The Cardinals are also one of those teams where if they win close, and when they lose bad. So it's basically they squeeze one out against the Eagles here, or the Eagles just show up and beat the brakes off of them. Jeff Wilson, all the way the Joker. Let's put that up there. Sean, you agree with that bad boy?
Jeff Wilson's going to run all over the Panthers. Well, hold on. Panthers secondary is what's really good, right? Or how
their defense in general on all three levels is fast as fuck. Yeah. So I mean, they get after it.
Jeff Wilson had a fucking day against the Rams defense. Aaron Donald, he ran in like a 40-yard touchdown. He did. I'd say Jeff Wilson.
They are currently giving up only 96 rushing yards a game. So, yeah. Yes, but the thing, they're both going to get a lot of touches this week because they're both going to be in situations where their teams are up. So
I guess Stevenson's the New England.
Yeah, and he also is more of a pass catcher. Like he can give you,
and that's against the Lions. So
yeah, I kind of get why, but Jeff Wilson's like any other running back they've ever had back there. It's like a home run waiting to happen. So if he hits two of them,
yeah,
he was worth playing.
Set. Yeah.
Do I think? A college question. Do I think Kansas will be ranked after the loss?
That's cool.
So for those who don't know, the Big 12 is like having the best top to bottom season they've ever had. When Texas and Oklahoma, the two teams that are leaving, are the 2-2 middle of the road teams, and you have undefeated TCU and undefeated Kansas and Oklahoma State. It's a good year and Kansas State also is the type of team who will upset someone like every other week. It's a good year to be a Big 12 fan. The Big 12 is going to get more respect this year. That being said, I don't know if they stay in the top 25. They might get to stay right at 25 after the loss, but I think we're going to be expecting at least like 10 to 12 position drop as far as the loss goes.
I had another fantasy question as well.
Ooh, three-quarter PPR. Interesting. Najee, if I could replace him at least for a couple weeks, I would, because he's broken my heart. Just to teach him a lesson.
You're breaking your mama's heart.
And I already went off on Dobbs and why I love him, and I think he's going to get at least 10 targets a game the rest of the season. Like I said last week, he's one home run away from having like a 17, 18-point game. What was that, Sean?
Dobbs is Green Bay. Green Bay.
Yeah, rookie. He wasn't even their top rookie drafted either. But he's a goddamn stud. And he's completely won over Aaron Rodgers as far as like trust. Even with the drops he's had, he also started last week with a fumble. So he fumbled early, dropped a touchdown late, and I think Rodgers still loves him, which is wild to me because he usually shuns a guy after that. The problem is he doesn't have options. Sammy Watkins has been out. Their other receivers aren't that good, so he's stuck with him. Dobbs is going to get plenty of looks, but as much as Najee has frustrated me this season, I would expect him to have a great rest of the way with Kenny Pickett because it's just now there is at least the threat of the deep ball. So I don't know. Hopefully that's helpful.
Mariners are down by 2 right now, by the way.
Okay, I could see that going into a game 3.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, I say we hop off. Let's take one more question.
Yes.
Do you think Gabe Davis will have a... Gabe Davis is this year's Mike Evans. He's like the new Tutty Mike. He's
big tutties, dude.
He's Tutty Gabe. It's not as catchy. Tutty Mike is a way catchier.
Tutty Mike is
that a tutty, bro?
But I like him in the same aspect. Yes, it's feast or famine, but
But
it's already been proven that when he's healthy, he's a way bigger part of the offense than what he used to be. I think last year he was only in on like 30 to 40% of the plays. Now he's in on like 90% of them. So as long as he's healthy, I like me some Gabe Davis. So he is like a better Mike Evans. Like, remember when Mike Evans either got you touchdowns and got you 20 points or he got you nothing?
Yeah.
I think Gabe Davis is just going to become a more consistent version of that. More like Mike Evans this year.
So we were talking. So before we get off, we were talking about your team, Derek, and how you have these quarterbacks. You're playing me, dude. Keep Pickett in. Keep Pickett in. You're playing me. Keep Pickett in. Keep Pickett in. Keep the Steelers defense in. You're gonna do fine.
Well, the Steelers defense has been doing great.
Buffalo, baby. It's Buffalo.
Yeah, this might be a week to flex them out of there.
Yeah.
There's some teams on the waiver, like Jacksonville's defense was on. Maybe I stole them actually.
Let me look.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You got Tennessee against Washington.
So I just got to say not my new favorite thing. My favorite thing on this show is when we get new people commenting. It seems like it's new fantasy questions every week. So shout out to Nick. Shout out to the Joker.
Osman.
Whoever Gitz is. Did my thing work?
Oh, he asked it and then I brought it back up. So yeah, we got him.
Okay, but appreciate y'all.
Yeah, thank you, man. What a great show.
Well, your teams do well.
Have a good weekend. Go M's. Go Wildcats. Go Warriors.
Braves. They're not playing, but go Braves.
Braves. Go Niners.
Go Dodgers.
Go Dodgers.
Go Teddy Mike.
Go LA Kings.
Teddy Mike.
Go Pittsburgh Penguins.
Go everyone. All right.
Go.
I just hope everyone has fun.
Go yourself.
Go Texas.